Hey you, today's video is sponsored by ShopUpz. It is another video in my Etsy series. I'm going to show you how you can easily sync your Shopify and your Etsy inventory. I'll also show you how you can create one listing that will show up in both shops, which will save you tons of time. If you are looking for ways to become more efficient while managing both your Etsy and your Shopify store, then you want to stay tuned. Welcome to Healthy, Wealthy, Skinny, where we focus on the steps to help you live a healthy, wealthy, and skinny life. I'm Sean, and if you are ready to start thriving and not just surviving, go ahead and hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit the bell icon so you get a notification every week when I drop a new video. And be sure to stay until the very end because, as always, I've got something special for you. I often recommend that if you're going to sell on Etsy, you should also have your own websites to sell your products on as well. Shopify is one platform that you can use to set up your own e-commerce store pretty easily. If you've already set up both your Etsy shop and your Shopify store, then chances are you run into the problem of managing your inventory. Here's an example of an inventory sync issue that you might have. Let's say you're selling joggers on both your Etsy shop and your Shopify store. A buyer comes in on Etsy and purchases a pair of medium black joggers. Those medium black joggers are instantly removed from your inventory count on Etsy. The next day, a buyer comes in and buys a pair of medium black joggers from your Shopify store. You get the order, you go to fill it, and you find out that you are out of medium black joggers. What has happened is your inventory was not adjusted from the purchase from your Etsy shop. And now you're in the awkward situation where you have to reach out to your customer and let them know you can't fulfill the order because you don't have the medium black joggers in stock, or you have to delay shipping out the order to your customer because you have to reorder your stock of joggers. I was running into this situation constantly, which is why I was so happy when Shirley from ShopUpz reached out to me and asked me to try out their Etsy inventory integration app. This app was the best app that I did not know I needed. It allows you to export your Shopify listings to Etsy, keep your inventory synced in real time so you don't oversell, and also sync your Etsy orders to Shopify. You guys know I love to do tutorials, so I'm going to show you step by step how to set up the app and get your inventory under control. Let's hop over to my laptop. Let's start by finding the app in the App Store. I'm in my Shopify backend and I clicked on the Apps tab in the menu. Now I'm going to click on the button that says Customize Your Store, so it will take me to the Shopify App Store. Now that I'm in the Shopify App Store, I'm going to search for the ShopUpz app. And I get 5 results, and the result that I'm looking for is the first one in the list, and it says Etsy Inventory Integration. So I am going to click on that. Then we'll be taken to the main page for the Etsy Inventory Integration app. And all you have to do at this point is select Add App. Once you get the app added, the first step is to connect your Etsy shop. And you do that by selecting the button that says Connect to your Etsy store. In the following pop-up, select the Authenticate button. You'll then be taken over to Etsy, where you'll have to allow the app to have access to your account. You'll be presented with a congratulations message and a click to continue button. Once you've installed the app and you're logged in, you'll start off on the Inventory tab. So let's briefly walk through the different tabs inside of the app. You have the Inventory tab, which is going to show you your listings, your SKUs, and your link sales channels. And you can see here, I have listings on Etsy. And if I scroll down, you'll see where I have a listing that is on Etsy and on Shopify. And this is one of my listings where I have my inventory synced. So I'm going to scroll back up, and then we're going to go to the Orders tab. And this is where you will sync your orders between Etsy and Shopify. And you'll see here that I have this tab disabled because I do not want my Etsy and my Shopify orders sync. I only use this app to sync my inventory. Next, we have the Export Listings tab, and this is where you will export your Shopify listings over to Etsy. And this is a really great time saver feature if you're managing 2 shopping channels. This means that you only have to create your listings one time, and you will start on Shopify, and then you will export your Shopify listings over to Etsy. It's going to save you tons of time. The next tab is your advanced settings, and we'll click on this. And I won't dive deep into these settings, but here you'll see where you can enable or disable batch updates, enable or disable duplicates handling. You can say if you want to include selected SKUs for quantity sync, and then you can enable or disable your order sync. So this is where you turn on the order sync for this orders tab here. And then you can enable or disable duplicates handling. And then finally, you can update Etsy orders as fulfilled. So you can say whether you want to update orders that originated from Etsy with Shopify data. And again, I do not use this. So I have this set to do not update Etsy orders as fulfilled. And all of these settings here are if you are syncing your orders between Shopify and Etsy. And then finally, you have the Connections tab, and it just shows you what channels you have connected to this Shopify app. And you can see here, the one channel that I have connected is Etsy, and I have a green connected status. And if you'd ever want to pause or disconnect your connection between the ShopUpz inventory app and your Etsy shop, you can do that here. This would be the pause button or disable, and this would be the remove button. So now let's walk through the inventory sync feature. So I'm going to scroll down here and you can see my different listing. You can see the listing, the SKU, and the link sales channel. One thing you'll notice here for my Valentine's Day shirt, you can see I have a SKU here, but I only have one sales channel. This means that there is no sync between Etsy and Shopify. This is because I do not have this same SKU on Shopify. I only have it on Etsy. In order to sync your inventory, you have to have the SKU both on Etsy and on Shopify. So same here for my Hamilton hoodie. I do not have this SKU on Shopify. And that's just because I don't need to sync my inventory for my t-shirts because I press each t-shirt as it's ordered, meaning that I will hold a collection of black medium t-shirts, but they do not necessarily have anything printed on them. So I do not keep an inventory for completed t-shirts. So I'm just going to minimize that. And I'm going to go down to a listing where I do manage my inventory and the listing that this app actually completely helps me out with. So these are my Relax Fit sweatpants. These I do not make. I order them from a wholesaler. So I really need to keep up with what I have in stock for these joggers. And I have different sizes and I have different colors. So you can see here are my SKUs, and I have these same SKUs in both Etsy and in Shopify. And you can see here where my inventory is synced. So for this ash mocha pair of joggers in small, I have 0 in quantity in Etsy and 0 in quantity in Shopify. And you can see here all of my different colors. And for this dark burgundy, I have 2 in quantity in Etsy and 2 in quantity in Shopify. So let's move back in time to before my inventory sync was completed. I'm in my Etsy shop manager and I'm going to go to the listing for my joggers and prep the listing with the right SKUs. So see, I'm clicking on the listing. I am going to scroll down to the section of the listing where you can enter in your SKUs. When I initially set up this listing, I did not have SKUs set, so I'm going to go in and make that change now. So now I'm in the variation section, and I'm going to go in and make the change so SKUs can be added to each one of the variations. So I'm going to select the Edit Variations button. And then I'm going to go in for my sizes and my colors and select SKUs vary for each size and SKUs vary for each color. I'm going to scroll down and select Update. And now you can see that in my variations section, I have a place for me to enter in the SKU for each one of my sizes and each one of my colors. But now I need to go in and add in the SKUs, and these need to be the same SKUs that are on Shopify. So at this point, I'm going to hop back over to my Shopify site so I can grab the SKUs. Now I'm on Shopify. I'm going to go and select products from the main menu, and then I am going to do a sort so I can find my listing easily. And then I'm going to scroll down and find my joggers or my sweatpants. And here they are in the listing, and I'm going to click on the title to go in and edit the listing. Okay, we're now in my jogger listing. I'm going to scroll down to where I have the SKUs for the joggers, and then I am going to go into the bulk editor just to make it a little easier for me to copy and paste my SKUs. So now I am going to the bulk editor, and you can see here all of my SKUs for the different sizes and colors of my joggers. So now I'm just going to start a copy and paste exercise where I copy the SKU from Shopify and then paste it into Etsy. This can be time consuming depending on how many colors and size variations you have. So what I'm going to do here is speed up the video so you don't have to watch me go through doing this process in real time. And that was the last SKU that I needed to copy over. So now let's hop back over to the ShopUpz app and start our sync. We're back in the ShopUpz app, and all we're going to do is hit the Start Syncing button. And then you can see that the inventory is syncing. You have a message that says syncing your inventory quantities. This will take a few minutes. So be patient here depending on how many items you need to have synced, and just watch the magic happen. And once it runs for a few minutes, you will get a sync complete message. And now you're at a point where the app will manage your inventory. And once you set up your inventory inside of Shopify, this app will automatically keep your inventory in sync. And if I were to get more joggers in stock, I would simply go into the inventory section of Shopify, update my quantities, and then this app will automatically update the quantities for me on Etsy. So I'll quickly pop over and show you where I would update the quantities in Shopify. I will go over here to products, and then I will click on inventory. And I know that I am going to manage the inventory for my Thrive sweatpants, so I've created a filter for those so I can get to them quickly. And you see here, I see all of my different sweatpants. And what I normally do is do a sort based on SKU, ascending. And then you see now I have all of my ash mocha sweatpants together. I can manage my inventory here. So this says I have 3 available, and if I needed to change that, I would just go ahead and say I have 4, or I got 10 pair of my 1X size ash mocha joggers in. I would update this number here, and then the app will automatically update my quantities on Etsy. So you can see how now if somebody orders a pair of joggers on Shopify, that quantity is going to correct itself on Etsy and I will not oversell. So now we're just going to pop back over to the app. Okay, we are back over in the inventory app. Also want to point out here that you can export all of your quantities. You would just click on this export quantities button, click export all, and then we will email you all of your data to the email address that you have on file in Shopify. Let's walk through the process of exporting a listing from Shopify to Etsy. We're going to click on Export Listings from the menu. And we'll be taken to the Export Shopify Listings to Etsy screen. Here I want to note a message that's on the screen that's very important. And it says, we export only listings that their SKU doesn't exist on Etsy. If Etsy listing/variation SKU exists, the listing will not be created on Etsy. And this is to eliminate duplicates. So basically this is saying if the same SKU already exists on Etsy that you're trying to export from Shopify, then the export process will not create that listing. You will get an error message. So let's walk through the process. We're going to start with the Etsy category. And for me, I am going to export a t-shirt. So I am going to choose the category of clothing. Next, we're going to move to the shipping profile. And something important to note here is that you can only choose shipping profiles that have fixed shipping prices. So any of your shipping profiles that have calculated prices will not show in this dropdown. What I've done is create a special shipping profile for listings that I'm going to export from Shopify to Etsy. And I have called that my Shopify export shipping profile. If you need help with creating your Etsy shipping profiles, I have a full video named Etsy Shipping for Beginners that you can check out, and I will walk you step by step through how to create your shipping profiles. So moving forward, we'll go ahead and just select my Shopify export shipping profile. Next, we're going to move down to where you select the listing that you want to export. And you'll notice here that you can select anywhere from 1 to 100 Shopify listings. And that is going to be very helpful if you have a lot of listings that you need to move over from your Shopify store. But for this video, we're only going to select one. So I'm going to select the click to choose listings button here. And I know the listing that I would like to send over. So I'm going to go ahead and search for it. And it is my passport ready t-shirt. So I'm going to check this box next to that listing, and then I'm going to hit the add button. And now you can see here that the total selected listings is 1. I'm going to move down to the Etsy fields mapping section, and this is where you determine if you want to export certain fields from Shopify. The first one is if you want to include tags. And for me, I do not want to include my tags because I use special tags on Etsy that I do not use on Shopify. So I'm going to tweak those settings when I get over into Etsy. So I'm going to uncheck this box. And then you have the fixed quantity. And it says all of your listings/variations will be set with a fixed quantity. And I am not going to check that box, but you can if you'd like to do that. So then I'm going to scroll down and then we're going to export the listing. And to do that, you just click the Export Listings Now button. You'll get a pop-up that shows your export details and a note that says you cannot undo this action. Listings will be created on Etsy in the draft status. And then you get a summary, and this says that I am exporting one listing. The category I am exporting to is clothing, and the shipping profile that I'll be using is my Shopify export shipping profile. So I'm just going to click the Export Now button. And here you see that my listing sync process is executing. And once it finishes, you'll get a congratulations message that lets you know that the sync is complete and that your new listing on Etsy is in the draft status. And there's also a link here where you can go and view your export results. And here you'll see that my export was successful and I get a check mark for the status. It tells me my Etsy listing and it gives me my sync date. Also want to show you here that if you try to process a listing and it is not successful, you will see that in this status listing as well. And you see here, I get a symbol that lets me know that the status was not successful and I will get an error message. So let's look at one of the error messages that I've received. And here it says that my listing requires a quantity greater than 0. And what this means is my Shopify listing did not have a quantity set for my shirts. So my shirt quantities in stock were set to 0, so it would not export that listing. I had to go in, give my shirts a quantity for each size, and then my export was successful. But I just wanted to show you what it would look like if you were to get an error message and where you can find the details about your error messages. So now we're going to hop over to Etsy and check out our listing. So we are now on Etsy. I'm going to go to my shop manager. I'm going to go to my listings. And then I'm going to go to my drafts here. And ta-da! Here is my passport ready t-shirt. I'm going to go in and make some tweaks to this listing. I'll just click on the gear icon and then go to edit. And you can see here I have all of my listing photos that came over from Shopify. If I scroll down, you can see I have the same title that was on Shopify, and I will probably adjust this to be optimized for Etsy. You can see that my category is clothing. And I'm going to scroll down more. If I look at the renewal options, it is set to manual, and normally I have mine on automatic, so I'm just going to go ahead and change that. It is a physical product. You can see that my description has come over from Shopify. I did not export my tags from Shopify, so I'll have to put in my tags here. And just to continue to scroll down, and you can see that I have all of my shirt sizes, the colors, my SKUs that I had over in Shopify, and my prices and the quantities for each shirt size. If I scroll down more, you can see that I'm using my Shopify export shipping profile. And what I would probably do is once I'm over here, change it to my shirt orders shipping profile so it can be done in 1 to 3 days. And I can use my calculated shipping. And I'll scroll down and I'll need to put in this item size information. So I know that that's going to be 13, 10, and 1. And I'm using my free shipping profile. And then it's going to ask me if I want to do marketing. And I'm going to set that to yes because I usually turn on marketing for most of my new listings just to give them a little boost. And then once I was ready to publish this, I would go ahead and hit the publish button. But I am going to save it as a draft for now because I'd like to go in and put in my different tags and optimize my title. And if you'd like to know more about how to optimize your title and your tags, I recommend that you check out my Etsy listings that sell video, and I will leave that video linked in the description as well. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and save as draft. So there you have it. You now know how to keep your Shopify and Etsy inventory completely in sync in real time, and how to create your listing on Shopify and have it automatically created in Etsy. So all you have to do is tweak a few settings and hit publish. I've added a link in the description to the Etsy Inventory Integration app by ShopUpz. All you have to do is click on that link and start your 14-day free trial. But before you do that, I'd love for you to watch these 2 videos right here because I've got some more cool stuff to share with you.